Candy, chewing gum, cigarettes, Lonnie, candy, cigarettes, chewing gum, candy, cigarettes, cigars, chewing gum. Yes, sir.
Ethel, you're as nervous as a filly in her first race.
Are you telling me?
Come on! Get a move on you. Get to your places. Oh, nearly missed the opening, eh? Now the next time you're fired. All right, take your place.
You're pretty busy, don't they, Sam?
These dames are getting worse. Eating too regular. All the wrinkles are coming out.
Where's Sue?
Oh, he's on the other side. But you better hurry. It's about curtain time.
You'll have to knock 'em dead tonight, honey. The house is packed.
That's great, Duke. Now perhaps you'll get back some of the money you so foolishly put in your show.
Foolish? Why, sugar. That's what I've been working for. To have a show of our own. With you as star.
You're sweet, Duke. My lips, my makeup, you'll ruin them.
All right, but you'll pay double after the show.
Oh, you.
Silence! Places!
Gotta get down in Dixieland, makes my heart beat to beat the band. Here's the train whistles over band. Get out of my way, boy, I've got to stand. Blackberry baby, I'm coming to you. Blackberry baby, I'll ride it through you. Won't have no time to spell till I can get the best Blackberry baby of mine. Blackberry baby, ain't gonna fizzle. Soon I'll be traveling, sharp as a whistle. I won't be satisfied till I am by your side. Blackberry baby of mine. You laugh and I laugh when we get together. You step and I step in Johnny Van Leather. Blackberry baby, you are my honey. Blackberry baby, the sun is running. So babe, I got to be right now with you with me. Blackberry baby of mine. Blackberry baby, you're not a Georgia. Blackberry baby, you're not a Georgia. When you open your mouth, that music from the top. Blackberry baby of mine. Welcome to Dixie, here is your lady. All of the Southland, welcome to baby. Here is satisfied, watch a gal roll tonight. Blackberry baby of mine.
Denzel's girl has got plenty of what it takes. I can give her a big break. Mason, I can't figure what your objection is.
My objection is that it would ruin the lives of two fine young people.
Look, Mason, how much do you pay that whole troupe? A $1,500 a week guarantee? Surely not more. 6 months from now, she can make that much by herself. You're just a sentimental old fool.
Maybe so. But I've watched those kids grow up on this circuit. Duke gave up a promising stage career to push Ethel ahead. Oh, he's done a fine job of it, too. Next season, she'll be the biggest attraction we have.
Out here in the sticks, what'll it get her?
Gonna be. Chances are we'll get what we're deserving. We will be the tops, just wait and see. I know you remember all I've told you. We'll see our dreams through. You remember, we'll work hard together while we're dreaming. Our plans have meaning. I know you remember. Fine cars, luxuries, we'll have more than these. Don't care what people say, we stay together.
Look at that personality. She's a cinch for the big time.
You believe me, win or lose, I'm with you.
You hear that voice? That's what they buy.
I know you
Did you? Wow! Listen to that applause.
Come on, you two lovebirds, out of the way.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stage Manager.
All right, girls, in your place. Let's go.
Don't rib him, Duke. He's right. And I have to make a change.
And I have to see Mr. Mason. Marshall is a talent scout for an Eastern Circuit. He thinks Ethel has big-time possibilities.
Oh, boy, that's great. I've been waiting a lifetime to hear news like that. I knew it would come sometime.
When would you want us to report, Mr. Marshall?
Us? What do you mean, us?
You see, Duke, Mr. Marshall wasn't figuring on you. He wants Ethel to do a single.
A single? Alone?
The Bronze Nightingale. What an angle. Sensational. What publicity. My kind of a build-up, and she's in the bag. You can tag along if you want to.
Tag along? I don't think you understand, Mr. Marshall. We've always been together. Always hoped to be. I studied Ethel, taught her, brought out the best in her.
It would be a great chance for her.
Chance? Why, it's the break of a lifetime. What's the talent getting her here?
I know all that, but I produced her show.
Producers are a dime a dozen in New York.
Well, I wouldn't be the first one to crash in. Why, I've heard...
A lot of fairy tales. Ever been to New York?
No.
Then I'll tell you what it would be like. In and out of offices. Nothing today. Come back tomorrow. Just butting your head up against a stone wall. It would break your heart and hers. You wouldn't want to stand in her way, would you?
Stand in her way? Of course not.
New York is her dish. Think of her in lights. Ethel Andrews, the Bronze Nightingale. A new star is born. Gaiety, glamour. She's entitled to that. And I can get them all for her. What can you do?
The, show just broke, gentlemen. Good night. Good house for the opening night.
Isn't she beautiful?
And can she sing?
Why, she's a whole show.
Come on, it's late. Let's go. It's a surprise from Duke.
With his usual card.
Ain't Duke a prince?
Ella, the Duke is tops.
He's giving me a chance to do a number next week, and I sure have been rehearsing hard.
You've been holding out on me, huh?
You know better than that.
Well, come on, let's see it.
Well, here goes. Da, 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 da. Ella?
Ella, I want to speak to Ethel.
I'm practically gone.
Duke, darling, what's the matter?
Oh, I guess I've been kind of selfish. Keeping you on this small-time stuff when you belong on Broadway.
Dear, you'll be a dreamer all your life, and I wouldn't have you different. But don't you know that if Broadway is for us, we'll get there?
Marshall, a talent scout for an Eastern booking circuit, has been watching you. He thinks you've got what it takes. Ethel, we show people live and strive for one goal, the big stem. And when opportunity knocks, we've got to answer. It's your chance, kid. Take it.
Without you, Duke.
Don't say it, honey. I'll never tell you anything that isn't right. Because, well, you remember.
Here are the reports, Mr. Mason.
Thanks.
Oh, hello, Mr. Davis.
Hello, Gladys. Hi, you, Mr. Mason.
Well, Duke, you broke the season's house records.
That's fine.
How about Ethel? Have you made up your mind yet?
Sure, but she hasn't made up hers. I've been arguing with her for the past 2 weeks. She just laughs at the idea of our splitting, says it's ridiculous.
Sometimes the surgeon has to cut deep and hurt, but it's for the patient's good.
York her dish. The bronze nightingale. A new star is born. Publicity, glamour, gaiety.
Sometimes the surgeon has to cut deep and hurt, but it's for the patient's good.
Gee, it's been a swell 2 weeks.
I'm so glad for Duke's sake. Yes, Duke, come on in. We've just about finished packing. I'm so glad you've given up that silly idea of our separating. Why, I just couldn't stand it.
You couldn't stand it. Suppose you think of me for a change. Remember that?
Our contract.
Now listen, Ethel, I've tried to reason with you for the past 2 weeks. Tried to be kind, but you wouldn't listen. Now I'll tell you something. I can make myself a piece of money out of that. Here, take a look.
$5,000.
Sure, I can cash in on this contract, and I need the dough.
So, that's all I mean to you. Dollars and cents. I don't think I ever knew you until now. Laughs on me, I guess. Here, you forget my part of the contract. Now you can collect.
Well, I'm glad you decided to be sensible. I'll be seeing you sometime. Lots of luck. And she never knew me until now.
Ethel! Ethel!
Duke! You're a great guy. But I'm not going to let you get away with this.
It's the best thing for her, Ethel.
Best thing? I'm going right back and tell her the truth.
Listen, Ella, you've got to promise not to say a word. Because, well, you remember.
What? Hold the wire. Come in. Where do you go next week? Say, you play the last half of this one at Athens, and that's a season's work these days. Where do we go next week? Yes?
Good morning, Mr. Lake. Remember me? I'm Duke Davis. I used to do a single for you.
So did a lot of other hams. No, I don't remember you.
It has been a long time. But say, I've got a brand new act.
Oh, sure, I know. New gags, classy songs, swell wardrobe. I hear that every day. I know it by heart. It's got whiskers on it. Nothing for you. I guess you've heard that before. Anyway, in case you don't know it, Vaudeville's as dead as the last year's woman's hat. About all I'm looking for is girl acts for the picture houses.
Well, that's great, Mr. Lake. You know, I'm a producer, and that would be right up my alley.
And the alley's so full of producers, the health department's kicking. Say, I do remember you. You and that Andrews dame. She was a good meal ticket for you once. Ought to be a better one now. She's a big-time hit. Why don't you hang a touch on her?
I'm thinking of doing the same to you, my love. There you are, Mr. Mason. A brand new show. I just finished writing it.
I hope you've got something here, my boy.
It's a wow. It's got everything.
Heard from Ethel?
No. Look, I can use my old people. They know my work, and I know what they can do. Of course, you'll have to stake me. I'm broke.
If you're as good as you used to be, we'll manage to put on your show.
That's swell, kids. That'll be all the day, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wait a minute. And that don't mean 10:30 or 5 after. It means 10.
All right, Drizzlepuss.
How's it shaping up to you, Sam?
It's a lily. But, Duke, you always put on good shows.
I hope so. You don't have to say it, Mr. Mason. I know. The show did a nosedive.
Breaks of our game, my boy.
But I know where it's weak. Say a couple of new specialties and tighten up on that comedy. Why, I can doctor up this show in 2 shakes of a pawnbroker's head.
I'm sorry, Duke, but my bankroll just can't stand any more strain.
Well, that's that. Anyway, thanks for giving me a break. I'm sorry. Sorry for the flop.
Forget it, Duke.
What did the boss say? Ah, Duke. We'll show him. This ain't the only circuit.
No, Sam. Get yourself a job. You can handle a stage better than any man I know.
I ain't gonna leave you.
Yes, you are. Because I can't pay you. Here. I'm splitting the bankroll with you. Good luck, Sam. Good evening.
As I live and breathe and goggle my tonsils, Duke Davis.
Dr. Durando, the old boy himself. How are you?
Riding the crest, favored by fame and followed by fortune. And how is the bright star of the theatrical firmament, the scintillating, shimmering satellite of...
Save it, Doc. What are you peddling these days?
Peddling? A vile word, my boy. I am engaged in revealing to suffering humanity this peerless remedy, this amazing healer, Dr. Durando's universal elixir.
That's fine. Sit down. How's business?
Marvelous, stupendous, colossal. I might even add that business is fair.
Ham and eggs. Turn my eggs over, please.
Miss.
Nothing doing, mister. This is no drugstore. You've stuck us for plenty already. Money talks from now on. Ordered ham and eggs. Over.
Duke, how about making that order double?
Sure.
Duplicate the order, young woman, and keep my eggs honest, looking me in the face.
Another order, ham man. Sunny up.
Finished, Doc?
Alas, yes. Duke, 1,000 thanks. Perhaps you will accept a slight return for your hospitality.
That's all right, Doc. You know you're welcome. Come clean now. Up against it?
Well, now, I am suffering a temporary setback, but come over to my headquarters, and we will discuss matters at length.
Oh, well. Have you the time? I understand. Come on, Doc.
No, Duke. I haven't been north of Alabama in 2 or 3 years.
That's why I haven't seen you before, Doc.
Oh, Duke, I want you to meet Prince